Hot take, most nonprofit boards are underutilized, and here's how to fix it. There are three main reasons for this, and here's the first and probably the biggest one, which is of course the root of most human conflict, which is mismatched expectations. As we recruited the board or as we brought them on and onboarded them, told them one thing, and then the reality, what we needed from them later was another thing, and now we have some conflict between those, and we will never meet in the middle. If we don't set clear expectations and have written board standards, you might have three different people who all think three different things about the board. This person thinks all I have to do is show up. They want me because they want my expertise. They want my advice. I'm gonna weigh in on board decisions, and that's my contribution. This person thinks I don't really need to say anything as long as I give a little bit of money every year. That's kind of what they need. This person thinks, oh, they just want me for my connections. As long as I open doors for them, I don't have to give money, and I don't really need to even show up for board meetings. None of these contributions are necessarily right or wrong. It'd be kind of nice if everyone did all of those, but we didn't say from the beginning that these are the things that we needed from our board members, and now they don't know what they want. They have their own different ideas, and the board culture is this kind of wishy-washy mismatch. The way to prevent this from happening is just to set it up from the beginning. In the recruitment process, when you're first talking to a prospective new board member saying, we expect everyone to attend this many meetings. We want everyone to give a meaningful gift every year. We want everyone to help connect us to new prospective donors, new prospective talent, volunteers, whatever the things that we need to do. We can set these at any level. We don't have to have any crazy expectations. We just need to set expectations. Then when we onboard them and we're talking to them and we're giving them their new trustee packet or whatever, we should say these things again. And then when we're talking about in the meeting out loud, we should say these things again. We're just setting these expectations several times in a row so that if they're not a good fit and they want to opt out, they can. The counter argument to this is like, well, if we ask all this stuff of them, we won't have any board members. Half of our board right now won't even show up. It's like, exactly. And those aren't very good board members. If they're the perfect person, but they're not willing to do any or all of these things that we ask them to do, they're actually not the perfect person. Say they're super connected or they're super wealthy or they're the best CPA in town or whatever. It doesn't matter if they're not willing to support the organization in the way that board members need to. We just have to set this up in the beginning. It causes a little growing pains when we make this transition, but on the backside of this, you end up with a board that's much more dedicated, all giving money and all helping move the organization forward. If there's one document that you know you need, it is a board agreement. This is just a set of written expectations. You walk them through it line by line. You sign it, they sign it, and they know what they have to do. I have to attend a minimum required number of meetings. I have to participate in events. I have a conversation about some sort of a meaningful financial contribution every single year or a pledge over multiple years. I have to do so much fundraising work, or I don't have to do so much fundraising work. Whatever those are, they're written down. Everybody knows them. If you'd like a sample written board agreement, just comment the words board agreement under this video and we'll send you over a free one to get you started just as a template. Reason number two, most boards are underperforming is lack of practice in training, especially in terms of governance and fundraising. If you say, okay, yes, I think my board should help me fundraise, and that should be the job of a board, or they should at least open doors for me, or they can help make asks or make connections. And we say, okay, board, go forth and find people to give money, and then we'll report back here next month. And if everyone gets 2 or 3, we'll make our goal for the year. And we give them no instruction or training or information on how to do that. Of course they're going to fail. We're setting them up to fail. That's actually not entirely or even mostly on them at that point. It's on us as the organization to provide those things. And you say, but we have a one-time onboarding and we tell them all these things. We've taught them how to do it. We've said this is how you solicit and we've made sure that it's super clear that we want them to do this. That's probably not enough training and it's not enough time. We have to have this ongoing education that is part of the board's time and curriculum throughout the year, both for new board members and for board members who need to stay sharp and practicing. One-time onboarding is just not enough information. It's not enough education to really have a meaningful impact. Here's how we fix this. Small layered training throughout the year. If you have 4 meetings a year, maybe one of them is dedicated to education, or you do a little bit of training or a little bit of live practice at each. If you have 6 to 10 board meetings a year, you can probably look at 2, maybe even 3 of those being specific to training, but not having to do all at once and say, we're gonna do a 3-hour training and then y'all will just be good forever. It's like, no, let's spend 15 to 30 minutes throughout the year in case someone misses a meeting. We want to make sure that we're just reinforcing these things. You actually have to tell someone more times than one for it really to stick. And especially if it's a skill set that they're practicing, you can't expect to give them information once and then magically have a new skill set. It is something that requires reps and practice, and giving them practice in a low stakes environment in the board meetings is much safer than just sending them out into the community to be fundraisers or to be advocates without arming them with information on your organization and how to fundraise properly. The other piece that we would suggest is to have a dashboard. You can have an overall dashboard for the whole board, or you can have individual dashboards for the board members that are just what we call board standards. These are the things that we expect of them every year. And we mark when they attend meetings, we mark when they don't, we mark when they attend events, we attribute gifts to them if they introduce us to new people. But to track these things, again, what gets measured gets managed. And if we take time to focus on something, it definitely will grow. So just having some sort of a trackable set of metrics really helps just put it forefront of mind and say, hey, this is a working board. Like if you did not sign up to be on a working board, you can rotate off. No one will be mad at you. Totally fine. Everyone goes through different stages of life where they have more and less time, but we really need this group of 10 or this group of 12, however many that you have, to be focused on helping us and actively working. Maybe define it. Maybe it's 3 hours a month of time or 5 hours a month of time. Whatever that amount is, just set those expectations, make sure there's enough training in between, and then track progress throughout. Hey, thanks for checking out our video. If you're getting value out of this but would like something more personalized, you can book 30 minutes with one of our experts to see if you qualify for our support services. Link below in the description. All right, the third and final issue that we see all the time is that roles and responsibilities are ambiguous and not defined. We don't know who's doing what. Is this the staff's job? Is this the board's job? There's no necessarily right and wrong answer on who's supposed to do what, but we do need to define it and we do need to talk about it on a regular basis. If the board has ultimate authority on the financial governance, we need to make sure that they're reviewing that and they're taking that very seriously. If it's the board's job to open new doors for fundraising, we need to make sure that we have a committee for that and they're taking that very seriously. If it's the board's job to review all new candidates for the executive team, we need to make sure that we have a staffing committee or a talent development committee so we're bringing on the best staff people that we can. Whatever these roles and responsibilities are, they may fall to the executive director, CEO, the fundraising team, the board, but everyone needs to know kind of what their lane is, and if we can specialize the labor as much as we can, it's a lot easier. If everything is everyone's job, no one will be responsible for any one thing, and it becomes this kind of ambiguous mess. We see this all the time. This is super common. It is not a problem if your organization is like this. This is a thing that you can fix, but we do need to be aware of it. Here's how we can address it. Number one is just written clarity on staff and board roles. Here's the list of staff responsibilities. Here's the list of board responsibilities. Don't just tuck it away into your bylaws. Review it on a regular basis. So again, as a reminder, here are the things that we need from the board this quarter. We need them to do this, we need to attend events, and we need 2 introductions per board member. Whatever that is, if it's a short list, just define it. The staff is going to be doing stewardship and the staff is going to be putting on the event, or whatever the things are, just define it, make written lists, and then vocalize it out loud at a board meeting. Next is play to strengths and publish assignments. So say if you have an accountant on your board, they may get assigned some responsibilities to review financial statements or review investments or review taxes or whatever the thing that they're an expert in. Or if you have a lawyer that serves on the board, they may review all your documents for legality. Whatever the person's expertise and comfort level is, we want to try to steer into that and then publish that. Saying, hey, Jake's responsibility this quarter is he's going to do this, this, and this. Just put that in a follow-up email that goes out so that everybody knows here is what each person is responsible for, here's what each committee is responsible for. So in addition to assigning between staff and board, talk about publicly in advance the things that each board member is going to do. That way the next board member, they have strong accountability to actually do those things. And finally, and this is the trickiest part, but what we want to work towards, is building towards a culture of participation. This is not a sitting board, this is a working board. Yes, we want your wisdom and your input and your information. That is one responsibility. But the success of the organization ultimately falls with the board. They're the ones who hire the people at the top. It's their job to move the organization forward, and they can be extremely impactful with just a couple hours a month of extra work in fundraising, in advocacy, in governance, in connections, and just building up the organization and making sure that it's moving forward. So if we can kind of build that into the culture, sometimes that requires replacing people and saying, well, 80% of my board doesn't blank, blank, and blank. It's like, okay, let's rotate those people off slowly. over the next year. Start by increasing the expectations and making everybody's accountability very visible. And some people will kind of naturally fall off. Give them a graceful exit. Don't say, well, we're firing these people because they're not doing it. Just saying, hey, understand that your life is busy right now and you can't quite meet the board standards. What we'll do is we'll rotate you off for now. And if you ever want to come back, just let us know when you have a little more bandwidth to work on this. But we do need to use your seat for someone who has a little bit more time to dedicate to this organization right now. And don't just leave people on there because they're a good person to have. If they're not actively working towards your organization, they may just be dead weight, and we may need to replace them with someone who's a little bit more enthusiastic. Maybe they're less well connected, but they're just a good worker. We want to have a good blend of that. If we have these active people hours always moving us forward, it's just much, much easier. A couple of last things to remember is that boards don't thrive on passion alone. They need structure. Yes, these are passionate people. It's why they're serving on nonprofit boards in the first place. These are the best people in town. We need these people to help us. But again, passion alone isn't enough. We need structure. Secondly, expectation and skills are going to be the key to building that structure. So we have expectation. These are the things that we expect from the board. This is the training and education we're going to provide, both from how our organization works and also how fundraising is supposed to work. And that builds the structure that we hope our board adheres to. And finally, just taking your board from being spectators to active partners and taking an active role in the growth of your nonprofit, focused on driving your mission forward. I challenge you to take some of these tips back to your board and see if you can implement it and watch your nonprofit grow. If you'd like some specific help in getting your board jump-started, you can head over to pridephilanthropy.com and click on that Let's Chat button. That allows you to speak directly with a member of our team to see if we can help you. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you in the next video.